Ever heard of an oil well so pivotal it sparked international intrigue? A real-life oil game. That's where we're diving today, deep into the heart of Saudi Aramco.
Beyond the headlines about record profits, Aramco's story is one of history, global impact, even, you could say, a bit of intrigue.
It's a company that's shaping geopolitics, leaving its mark on the climate, and yeah, impacting all our lives. But don't worry, we'll cut through the jargon.
Using excerpts from Wikipedia and Aramco's own website, we'll break it all down.
The how, the why, and what it means for you.
To truly grasp Aramco today, we need to rewind. Imagine the world on the brink of World War I, oil. It was the lifeblood of modern warfare.
And in high demand, I bet. So who are the major players in this real-life oil game?
The U.S., for one, felt the strain of those shortages. They were determined to secure their own oil, while Britain and France.
They were already grabbing up oil-rich territories, weren't they?
Yeah.
Adding fuel to the fire.
Exactly. Fast forward to 1933, Saudi Arabia enters the scene. After intense negotiations, Standard Oil of California gets a concession to explore for oil in the kingdom.
High stakes. What if they drilled and found nothing?
That's the gamble of oil exploration.
Mm-hmm.
Massive investment, technology, luck. But the payoff, as Aramco proves, can be enormous.
It was an instant success, though, right?
You're right. 4 years of drilling, no major finds. Then, 1938, everything changes. They hit oil with the Dammam number 7 well.
A real game changer.
It transformed Aramco from risky venture to a major player.
So they were off to the races then.
Not quite. Remember those geopolitical forces? World War II erupts in 1944. Global oil demand explodes.
And I'm guessing that's when the company went through a major shift.
During this time, they became the Arabian American Oil Company, Aramco as we know it.
More than a name change, I imagine.
Absolutely. It reflected their growing importance on the world stage. It also coincided with Standard Oil of New Jersey, later Exxon, and Socony Vacuum, which became Mobil, taking ownership stakes.
Wow, the heavy hitters. So Aramco, backed by these giants, is poised to become a global powerhouse. But what about Saudi Arabia's role in all of this?
That's where we'll pick up in the next part of our deep dive, because Saudi Arabia's journey to full ownership of Aramco is a story in itself.
When we left off, Aramco was on its way to becoming a major player in the oil industry with some big names backing them up. But Saudi Arabia was on its own journey, one that would redefine its place in the world and its relationship with Aramco.
It wasn't just about business, it was about national identity and Saudi Arabia having control over this vital resource. And after years of strategic maneuvering and careful negotiations, they finally did it. By 1980, Saudi Arabia achieved full ownership of Aramco.
1980, that's a huge turning point in history, not just for Aramco and Saudi Arabia, but for the global oil market as a whole. What were the implications of this nationalization?
It was a powerful message to the world that Saudi Arabia was in the driver's seat when it came to its vast oil reserves, and that it was determined to control its own destiny. And this had a domino effect in a way. It empowered other oil-producing nations to seek greater control over their resources as well. It really shook things up in the global energy market.
It's amazing to think about just how massive those resources actually are. We talked about the Ghawar and Safania oil fields earlier, but I have to admit, I'm still trying to wrap my head around just how huge they are.
It really is mind-boggling when you think about it. To put it into perspective, the Ghawar field, the larger of the two, is estimated to have held more than 70 billion barrels of oil.
Yeah.
To put that in perspective, that's double the proven reserves of the entire United States.
Wow, just incredible.
And then there's Safania, the largest offshore oil field in the world. Imagine the engineering required to extract oil from under the seabed on that kind of scale. It's a massive undertaking.
Almost impossible to imagine. Those fields alone are a testament to why Aramco is an energy giant. But they didn't stop there. In 2019, they launched the biggest IPO the world has ever seen.
It was a huge moment for Aramco. They raised a staggering $25.6 billion, but it was much more than just about raising capital.
This was a strategic move, wasn't it? It seems like it had implications far beyond just bringing in money.
Exactly. This IPO is part of Saudi Arabia's plan to diversify its economy, attract foreign investments, and secure Aramco's place as a global powerhouse. This was a signal to the world that Aramco was no longer just a national oil company, but a global player with ambitions to match.
And they were thinking beyond oil production too, right? I mean, their portfolio goes way beyond just pumping oil out of the ground.
You're right. Aramco has strategically expanded into what we call downstream operations, investing in refining, chemicals, liquefied natural gas, LNG, and they've even dipped their toes into the world of renewable energy.
So we're looking at a company with a fascinating history, access to almost unimaginable oil reserves, and a global portfolio that just keeps growing. But what does this all mean for the average person? Why should we care about Aramco's operations? It's easy to get lost in the sheer scale of Aramco, but at the end of the day, it's about the impact. What does Aramco's role in the energy sector actually mean for the average person?
It's a good question and a vital one. Every decision Aramco makes has a ripple effect across the globe.
It's a lot of power. And that brings us to some of the controversies. We have to address the cyber attacks, the environmental impact, those allegations of worker mistreatment.
You're right, these issues are impossible to ignore. They force us to confront the ethical questions that arise with a company as powerful as Aramco. Can they be held accountable?
Those cyber attacks, for instance. In 2012, thousands of Aramco's computers were crippled. Then in 2019, a drone attack.
That one temporarily took out half of Saudi Arabia's oil production. It's a stark reminder of Aramco's vulnerability, and not just to traditional threats, but to this new landscape of cyber warfare.
And an attack on Aramco isn't just an attack on one company or even one country.
It sends shockwaves to the global energy market, which affects everyone. And of course, we can't forget the environmental impact. This is a company responsible for a significant portion of global emissions.
Can they balance their reliance on fossil fuels with a real commitment to sustainability?
That's the million-dollar question. Aramco claims they're committed to reducing their environmental footprint, and they point to investments in renewables.
Both their website and Wikipedia mention this goal of net zero emissions by 2060. Sounds great on paper, but can they really increase oil production while tackling climate change?
It's a bold claim, no question.
Yeah.
They're putting a lot of faith in things like carbon capture technology and renewable energy projects. They've got that massive solar plant, for example, and they're exploring blue hydrogen.
Those initiatives are interesting, but let's not forget oil is still their core business. They've even got plans to increase production. Hard to ignore that.
It raises the question, what's truly motivating their decisions? A genuine push for a cleaner future? Or a way to maintain their position as the world tries to shift away from fossil fuels?
There are no easy answers, but that's what this deep dive is all about, understanding Aramco's history, its impact, and these tough questions we're facing.
It's about demanding transparency, holding powerful entities accountable. These aren't just abstract ideas, they directly impact our future, the planet's future.
So as we wrap up our look at Saudi Aramco, here's something to consider. What if that carbon capture technology they're depending on, what if it doesn't work as planned? What's their next move, and how will that affect the fight against climate change? We hope this deep dive has given you the information you need to join that conversation.